Just don't tell me to stand up.
Hey, great Wednesday evening, guys. And I can already imagine what Judge Carlos Cascos is wearing instead of pants.
I'm ready for bed.
Right, guys, this is what I was going to go do. There's a little glitch on my Facebook page. And what happens is, and I noticed this yesterday and I picked up on it this morning. What happens is, and people that are regularly on Facebook know, when it streams it to Facebook, it makes it uh, only me can see it. And that was one of the reasons why I think yesterday we had a little lower amount of audience than today. So I had to go out there and do a manual fix right now. So it's working good now. But that's one of the things I think that with modern technology, guys, you got to readjust. You got to switch sides sometimes. And that's what happened. Actually, this morning it was a disaster because I realized I was only streaming on YouTube, and I'm going like, yeah, that's not right. And I had to cut the show off and start anew. So that's what happened this morning. But I'm glad people hung around. I actually had great numbers this morning, which is pretty cool. And I'm confident that we're going to have great numbers tonight. Tonight we do have Judge Carlos Cascos on with us. How you doing, sir?
I'm good. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Actually, I was sharing with folks this morning. I drove in from Monterrey. Had a concert to go to last night, and Roger Waters. And
Don't know
it's
who that is. I,
Pink,
I,
Flo-
I'm
Pink
not much
Floyd.
into concerts.
Pink Floyd, Roger Waters,
Oh, okay, okay. I remember I saw the movie
The Wall.
Bohemian Rhapsody.
Oh, that's Queen.
Yeah, that's Queen. I did not. I didn't remember the story about this guy. I mean, he was a talented person. Too
Eddie,
bad
Mer- Eddie
he
Mercury was amazing.
yeah, he was amazing. I mean, just but I finally saw that show about a couple of weeks. I never seen it a couple of weeks ago, and enjoyed it. I mean, the genius of that guy was incredible. Just too bad he
Incredible.
went through the things that he went through.
Yeah, it was amazing. And I actually last month I saw God Save the Queen, Dios Salve a la Reina, which is a band from Argentina, and they're a tribute band to Queen. And I actually was in Monterrey that night to see them. The night that day that the Queen Elizabeth passed away.
Hey, you'll never guess who was at the island last week
Mm.
or in Port Isabel. Apparently, there's a little hotel on top of a little curio shop there in Port Isabel on I think it's on Maxim Street. Maxim. That Asian teenage group, those kids that are very
BTX,
pop. The which ones?
BTX.
I don't know. The latest guys. Are there about 7 or 8 or 9 Asian guys that sing?
Yeah, it's a BTX. I didn't know that these guys are from Korea, South Korea.
They were there.
No.
They were there in Port Isabel. Yeah, they were there. And apparently they posted something on Instagram. And of course, they went wild. Kids showed up. They had to call police to help monitor the crowd. But yeah, they were there last week, staying in this little quaint little hotel on top of, these little gift shops there on Maxim. I didn't even know it was a hotel up there.
Well, talking about police presence, talking about police presence, we were actually at the PUB meeting on Tuesday. Was it Tuesday? Monday. Monday.
Monday. I believe it was Monday.
Let me tell you, I had never seen that much police presence and security force ever in any meeting that I've ever been to here locally, and I've been to several. I was actually on the board. I never ever saw as much law enforcement present as that meeting.
God,
And
I wonder why.
what,
¿Quién sabe? ¿Quién sabe? Who knows?
what I made mention, because I spoke at the meeting and I stated that uh, the presence of all this law enforcement here is indicative. One thing: the people are pissed.
Yeah.
People are pissed, and again, you want to use local law enforcement to protect yourself.
Right. Well, I'm glad that the and I kind of watched a little bit of delayed. Somebody was posting. I think Frankie was posting something. I saw a little bit of it. I'm glad that folks were, stood up and spoke and were not intimidated by the law enforcement presence. Um, but who knows? Maybe they expected you to riot or something. I don't know.
Well, what I think one of the things that helped out was 3 weeks ago I got kicked out from a meeting for recording.
I heard that.
So I think that helped. And then Carlos Elizondo tried to get kicked out this past Friday when they held that small little special meeting that nobody else they could find out. So I think that helped in regards to the sense that one of the things that we learned from individuals that were sitting in the PUB hall, whatever, they got there before we did, and they heard them say, "If people want to record, let them record."
Well, exactly. I don't think the first time they did it to you, I don't believe that legally they had any authority to do that. It's a public entity, public meeting, public place, uh, funded by ratepayers and taxpayers.
And
I
how?
don't believe that they had the right to to limit your recording. Obviously, it's an amendment issue, First Amendment issue, and I mean, I think you did the right thing, and just, hey, let's not avoid. The fight was not about you recording or not. It may have taken away from what folks were really there to participate with.
I agree. Hey, Sam, how you
So
doing?
Pretty good, man. I'm not too sure how the internet is here in this hotel, but
we
hopefully it's
almost
okay.
we almost forgot what you looked like.
I know.
your hair looks pretty good though, Sam.
Oh, thank you.
I mean,
The back, not so much.
at least you have hair. I'm sitting here with about, like I tell the lady that cuts my hair, she makes a fortune on me. I mean,
Yeah.
2 or 3 minutes and I'm out of there, and it's still $15. I mean,
You're keeping the business open.
yeah, exactly.
You're You're contributing to small business here locally.
Yeah.
And it doesn't take long to cut my hair. I'll tell you what.
You see, I should be managing your campaign instead of other folk. Good evening. Good evening.
Hey, but you know what? It was good enough. It was perfect timing. Because like because since I travel, I guess they were trying to send me to like warmer weather, and it was actually supposed to be a different destination, and then we got news that it was gonna be like I guess one of the best places in the country, and I was thinking, great, California or something like that, because there's a site over there by California that's real nice. Turns out I'm over here in the valley,
No, where?
but it's good because in time for the voting.
Oh yeah, where you at?
I'm right now. I'm in Harlingen, but I'm working over here off of like north of Los Fresnos.
Oh yeah. Where they have all those wind turbines.
Yeah,
Good job. Oh, hey, maybe
so it's good.
maybe it's a sign
I'm
from
traveling.
God.
I was supposed to travel the country, and I'm back home.
Well,
But it's being perceived really like they like the area. I guess because we have people from all over the world working for the company. But it's different down here, as they describe it.
it's very different.
The
Good
food's
evening.
great.
Evening. Good evening. Hello. Oh. What? Hear about the kid? Yeah, know what happened. Let me know, Papito.
He got in the water.
Judge, you got my vote.
Thank you, Justin.
Appreciate you, Papa. Sorry for interrupting. Está ganado América 4-1. Not an América fan. No soy americanista. Good evening. Good evening. Buenas noches, Erasmo y Carlos. Saludos, Emma hermosa. You
Hi,
got
Emma.
my. Yay, Judge.
Hi, Martha. I like the hat.
I love Martha. You rock Erasmo. I know. What? BTX? Wow. Yeah, I'm not a fan. And I wouldn't have gone. But I know that a lot of people are. I know who they are, though, because I have a friend in Monterrey that goes crap crazy over them. See? Oh, Norma was there at PUB with us on Monday.
PUB meeting.
Yeah, thank you for going, Normita. Good evening, Erasmo, Mr. Cascos and Samuel. Thoughts on Benice's post? that's a good little segue. Uh, I will start off to say that I appreciate Ben Nice being so very, very vocal. One of the things that I had corrected because some individuals read in the audit where it makes mention that there was a meeting, a combined meeting of PUB and city commissioners, where there was a group of us wearing Tenasca shirts. And when I made mention of it, someone said, "Oh, that's well, thank you for doing that." And I said, "Well, wait." I said, "Well, you're welcome." I mean, I went, but the architect of the Tenasca shirts, No More Tenasca, was Ben Nice, Judge Ben Nice. And so I'm very, very proud that he's opened up. I mean, he is a wealth of information because he was with us fighting the Tenasca thing, or we were fighting it together, not necessarily with us. We were fighting together, and then he became commissioner, so he has inside information in regards to it, which I think helps out a lot. Judge, did you see the Ben Nice's comments?
Yeah, I did. It was good comments. I think that is the type of information that we as constituencies need to be reading. People that are familiar with the project, they know what happened on the inside. He has nothing to lose nor gain by being upfront and honest with everyone. I think there's been too much stealthness, as I like to say, in a lot of these meetings and conversations and everything else. And who knows what else is out there. I'm still waiting for more hammers to fall. We'll just wait and see what happens in the next 2 or 3 weeks.
Sam, did you
Yeah,
get a
because
chance?
wasn't the executive meeting for like 6 hours or something?
3 hours,
3 hours. So a lot had to have been said during those 3 hours.
not enough. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. Sam, did you read Ben Nice's post?
Yeah, but I'm thinking now more people are getting on board with it. Not too sure because now it's getting traction, and hopefully it helps for the good. I know lots of people are asking for the resignation of the CEO.
Yeah. Well,
While everything's under investigation, but all the
I
information is there.
I agree with you, Sam. I agree with you because, one of my concerns again was, we have individuals that have knowledge of this, that were sitting on the city commission. Where have you been all these years? Because for the longest time, again, and I say this with all, I guess humility, but we were the only ones out there screaming about the Tenasca mess. And I am including the blog Juan Montoya. We were the only ones that were out there, and that he would do a crap load of research. The reason that I have so much,
Hey, don't forget, the audit came right after Flores sent the letter.
after who?
After Myra Flores sent the
Oh
letter.
yeah, of course.
I'm sure
Yeah,
that was a factor.
I'm definitely sure that was the reason why we got the audit. But it's greatly appreciated that that despite whatever the reason, that now, I don't mind them joining the bandwagon now. Yeah, let's push forward. What can we do from here on out in regards to remedying this? In regards to what people want, the head of not literally, they want to all those local law enforcement out there. They want the head of John Brusiak and anyone in management that had anything to do with this. They want criminal prosecution against Tony Martinez and anyone that was in cahoots with him. Is that the sentiment, Kayla?
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, and I think that's something that resonated throughout the meeting. We want him gone. And
it has to be done to where people don't lose. I guess putting pressure until it gets done. I don't think that it's already
I
won.
think the pressure is starting to gain momentum.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, I think so. I think Kayla's right. Let me tell you what. And again, I am the king of all local social media. I know Carlos Cascos thinks he is, but he's not.
No, I'm really not. Nowhere near.
I am the king of all local social media. And let me tell you, I feel the sentiment of people. And I've never, I'm getting, give them hell at us. We'll give them hell from people that never liked me before, and they're going, keep at him, keep at him, keep at him, because everyone wants
But the
something.
thing is, like, they most, which I understand, they're like como de lejitos, you know. They're like, yeah, give him hell. Yo te apoyo de mero atrás, you know. I'll be in the back row of the PUB meeting supporting you. But
I've
I'm
got,
pretty sure like all the comments are, it's making an effect.
well, I think if I've tried to keep everybody as current, and I've tried to be as objective as possible with all this going on. And I think at the last week, I think I was on for a little bit, and I kind of suggested, look, we need to keep our feet on the ground. We need to not lose sight of the big picture. I think sometimes we tend to, I believe that there's, based on the report, and I've already, I've read it. The There's a lot to this, okay, and I know that I may be focusing on a certain section of it. Um, I was somewhat disturbed with watching the Channel 5 report last night. When someone is allegedly done something like what Eddie is accused of doing, which I think is accurate. You have the auditors questioning his billings, okay, and I think that's something where you don't come out and you face the ratepayers. You don't go on camera. You send in written statements that probably either he wrote or somebody else wrote. You don't know. I've never shied away from a camera. I'm not camera shy. I also don't look very good on camera. But you should always be willing to answer the questions. There was, based on the report that I saw, there appears to be a lot of collusion. And when you have collusion, it is so difficult to catch it. It's going to be a he said, he said, he said, she said, she said, she said. Um, I got messages today about you to call the feds, and well, this is not a federal issue as what we know right now. But I do believe that there's enough information that it would warrant, going to law enforcement. The Texas Rangers do have a white collar crime division, and maybe that's what we need to bring in. I think last week I also mentioned that I didn't believe that the DA's office has the personnel or the expertise to. You have to do a forensic audit of the forensic audit now in order to determine whether there was any criminal activity. It appears that there may have been, and I'm very careful with the wordage, with the words that I'm using, because no one said that actually on the report. They may have implied it, and we may have inferred it, but they didn't state that. If you look at that page
I think
66
they,
of the report, they actually say it appears,
And
and that's a CYA term. Okay, it appears that the billings were for emails and conference calls, etc. But that's something that should have been done as board counsel, and it should. I don't believe it rises to the level of generating 1.9 million dollars for looking at emails and returning calls, etc. That's what the auditor said. Not you, not me, not anybody
well,
that's listening.
my concern is how the report ends. This is
Yeah,
why I think that the individuals who affected this audit, and let me say, I suspect, and this is just my suspicion, I suspect that there's another audit, another chapter, another factor out there that has not been made public yet. I think that there's some part of it that dealt even deeper into a lot of the schematics out there that we have not been privy to as of yet. That's my suspicion. But at the end of the audit, it clearly states next steps. This should be turned over to a local law enforcement.
they recommend
Yeah.
that it goes to the. I think is what they
Mhm.
said. I think that they ought to maybe do the same firm or get another independent accounting firm, somebody outside of the valley, obviously, to do a forensic audit of the billings. How much was billed subsequent to knowing that the project was not moving forward? How much of that, when did that happen? And how much was billed after that? And I think that that's what's important. I don't think the feds are going to get involved. I know people would love to get the feds in. I just don't see that. Um, only simply because there's no federal monies involved, as far as we know.
As far as we know.
Yeah, as far as we know, there's no federal monies involved. But it does warrant, at a minimum, our local law enforcement agency to get involved. And then if they admit that they don't have the manpower or the expertise, that they punt it to the state level. And the expertise is there at either at the Attorney General's office or Department of Public Safety through their Texas Rangers. So we'll just, everybody's just kind of hand tied. But this issue is a big issue. This makes the bridge to nowhere look like, here to Candyland. I mean, 24 million, 25 million back then. This is at least 4 times that number.
At least.
And I didn't see the interest or the outrage with the bridge to nowhere as I'm seeing here. You've got people that that I don't know and that are getting involved. And I posted something about this affects everybody, whether you're rich or you're poor, which is what part of town you live in, whether you're Republican, Democrat, Independent, Libertarian, vegetarian. It affects everyone. I got a call today from a lady whose utility bill had been, $300, $275. She got an $800 utility bill today.
It's crazy.
And she's on fixed income. And those are the folks, everybody gets hurt, right? But those that are on fixed income, the elderly, are more fragile folks that live in this. Maybe all of us here can afford the extra $400 or $500, but not every month for the next 2 or 3 or 4 years.
And that's what they've threatened is going to happen.
And I think, look, is there an answer to this? We need to get reimbursed.
Oh, yeah.
How it's done, that's not my problem. None of us that are listening here today created this problem. This was not our deal. We did not do this. This was somebody else created. So many times when I've brought stuff up, you know how you are. If you lend somebody $100 and you go try to collect, all of a sudden you're the bad guy because you're trying to collect, right?
Yeah.
We did not create this problem. They created this problem. So I suggested, like the last time, I said, I think they need to reimburse everybody across the board. Come up with a percentage, whether it's 30% or 35%. Come up with a time, whether it's for the next 36 months or 48 months, whatever the number is. Maybe an analysis has to be done with that. And it doesn't matter. This hurts not only residential customers, but you know what? It hurts our businesses as well.
Big time.
So how many businesses are going to have to lay off people because their utility bill has gone up 30 or 40% or 100%. So everybody is suffering with this. It's not, regulated to any demographic group. It's everyone that's got a PUB meter. No exceptions. And that's who needs to be reimbursed. And these folks, whomever it is, let it fall where it falls, but they need to be held accountable.
One of the things that I read on the audit report, and again, y'all can correct me if I misread it, but it literally states that they played with our money. With those 36%, they played with it in regards to investing here or there and doing everything else. But one of the things that I think was the most disgusting, and I posted it today, was the raises that they gave themselves. They gave themselves 39 to 42% increase in pay during the Tenasca time, and at the time that they knew that there was going to be no Tenasca.
Well, it happened at the county level as well. When with all due respect to the commissioner's court, I know every single one, but when I was county judge, we didn't give raises like that to anybody. As a matter of fact, I was criticized quite a bit by county employees for not giving raises because we couldn't afford it. And I represented Cameron County's population, not, those folks that work at the county. I mean, I realize it, but we couldn't do it. When I went in, I don't know, for accounting purposes, we had 28 days worth of operations. And that's what you might know what that is. We had 28 days worth of operations in our general fund, in our fund balance. Yeah. When I went in, 28 days. When I left, we had 89 days.
90 days.
and almost 90 days. And we had to do it by not only cutting the budget, but by not giving county employees. And I said, I'm sorry, but I have a responsibility for everyone, not just a selected few. And that's what this commission's done. Somehow, with rising inflation, rising costs, gas, food, healthcare, medical, mortgage interest rates, everything, and they elect to give themselves a 20% raise is obscene. It's obscene.
Quick question,
Anybody
though.
that's listening, and I want people to chime in right now. Anybody that's listening, and be honest, when was the last time you received a 20% raise for doing nothing different from what you were doing the year before or 2 years before? It's not like they were working longer hours or had more responsibilities. Most of these people don't show up to the county courthouse till after 10, and they leave at 1 or 2. I mean, anyway, that's my deal. I'd love a job like that, right?
Well, yeah. Again, I completely think that folks today, when they found out the amount of money that these guys are making, and I think it's all a matter of continuing to share the information with individuals, because anyone out there, no one out there, no one gave themselves a 20% raise like the county commissioners and Eddie Trevino did. No one gave themselves a 39, 40% increase in pay, during the past 5-6 years. And it's just unimaginable.
Quick question, though, but I know you might not have the answer, Judge, but I know that for the past, I guess the county's been eventually they've been giving, I guess, the cost of living adjustments, correct? But how come I guess most of the departments, I don't know of all of them, but I know at least the adult probation department has not gotten a single cost of living adjustment for the past 10 years. Would you happen to know?
Well, it depends
the
on
reason behind just that one department.
Yeah, is it juvenile or adult probation?
Adult probation.
Adult probation is a state funded organization. Okay, so they get paid by the state.
They fall into a different department then.
Well, no, I mean they get paid by those are state employees. So whatever the state does, but look, I mean, I wish everybody could get a raise all the time, but it's like raises are not an entitlement. I mean, you get it when you can get it, when the entity can afford to give it, but again, you don't give a 2 or 3 or 1% raise to the rank and file, which is the backbone of the entity, and you there proudly award yourself 15-20% raise to yourself because, Collin County commissioners over there, they get 100,000, and that's about the same size. I think you need to compare tax rates, the wealth of the Hidalgo County is an example. Hidalgo County is a much wealthier county than we are, and we keep trying to compare ourselves in many ways. Well, Hidalgo County this, McAllen this, Edinburgh this. It don't work that way. I think maybe Sam or somebody's mentioned it, that in McAllen you've got a lot of large communities that surround it. We do not. Edinburgh's got, Hidalgo County's got 1.1 million people. We've got half that. It's like trying to compare Willacy County to Cameron. Two different things. So, we need to do what we can do with the resources that we have. And the county was never in a deficit position. I don't know why they were said that, because you don't cure a deficit by moving monies around. That's not how deficits are fixed. It's like having 2 bank accounts, or one of them's overdrawn and the other one's got a lot of cash. You say, "Oh man, I'm broke. I don't have any money." Well, let me just move this money around.
Let me say what
you move it back from the savings back into the checkings and back and forth.
Yeah, exactly.
What Carlos mentioned is very interesting. They traveled in order to further their scheme, and that is also mentioned in the audit report. They did travel to New York and to other cities in regards to push this Tenasca thing and try to find individuals to form a part of it. There is that
but they've used local funds, though.
Well, again,
as far as we know,
one of the things that I've learned from the city of Brownsville is that no entity here is free from federal funds. everyone receives money from the feds, county, BISD, TSC, the city of Brownsville. I wouldn't be surprised if we find out later on in a deeper audit that a lot of the monies that were requested in order to bring the Tenasca thing, wasn't assisted or help from some type of federal.
That again, that's just because you receive a federal fund doesn't mean every violation is a federal violation. You've got to use the money that's related to those federal funds. Then it does, like what happened with Gallegos. Those were federal monies. So you don't have the state involved. You don't have the DA involved. You've got federal people involved. So I think it's the same thing here, as far as what we know.
As far as what we know. Well, this had been one of my concerns in regards to the Gallegos case, the Sylvia Atkinson case, and the other famous cases that we had here. It always seems to be the feds, outside individuals coming in and doing, I guess, the law enforcing here. Because, I mean, and I'm not dogging on Luis Saenz. Again, I like Luis Saenz is a friend of mine, but I'm not dogging only on Luis Saenz, but even previous district attorneys out there. I mean, the feds had to come in and sweep a lot of our crap away. So,
yeah,
my question is, shouldn't we be investigating something?
The feds know
Yes.
about the. Obviously, I know, some feds, and they live here and they vote here and they pay property taxes here and all that. So they're aware of it. I think they know what's going on. They may be waiting for something, maybe to give some instructions from further up the food chain. But at a minimum, right now, the DA, I think he's looking at it. I may be wrong, but I think he's looking at it to see if there's anything there that he can, that he can pursue. But like I said, we're gonna have to be patient. I know we want everything happen today and tomorrow because of this, but you know how long it takes the feds to indict somebody. It takes years.
But minimal. And what entity is responsible for the municipality? The people. But let me say, minimal is something that was being screamed at the meeting, at every single televised news broadcast. The people of Brownsville want Brusiak out.
No doubt.
They want him out. I've said on an administrative leave until pending further investigation. People just want him fired, and I say, it doesn't necessarily work that way because you want to avoid lawsuits and everything else. But minimal, he should be placed on leave. What concerns me is that the individuals that sit on that PUB board are all connected to Tony Martinez, who's also mentioned in the audit. That is my concern, that nothing is going to happen in regards to the quick, swift action that is in their possibility to do.
Yeah.
Because I'm sorry, Judge, Kayla and Sam, any one of us at our place of employment would have already been placed on administrative leave at bare minimum.
No doubt.
On
I
leave.
think that where this, I think what it demonstrates here, and I've kind of said this on my Facebook page and maybe here on the show, that we need to do the city, and really any governmental entity that does appointments needs to do a better job of vetting their appointees. We cannot be appointing people that have no acumen in terms of finances, or depending on what the board is, that have no business. We have people that have been appointed to PUB board that are nice people, and maybe they're good at what they do in their own bailiwick, but they don't have the qualifications, the education, or the background to sit on a multi-million-dollar board. And there's got to be a litmus test, for them. And I believe that the city commission needs to get involved and vet these people better and have them approve using a supermajority vote to appoint any appointee to these first tier boards.
The number one problem in the city of Brownsville and Cameron County is all these boards and committees. Unfortunately for us, these individuals are placed by our elected officials, and the only ones to answer Nelda's question that can do anything about the elected individuals are the citizens of Brownsville. But again,
Correct.
one of the things that and I'll answer Edgar de la Garza's. Well, I'll try to answer your question. Last city commission meeting, I spoke before the city commission. I said, "What are the resources that you are preparing to grant the citizens of Brownsville in the mess that y'all have placed us in?" And as of yet, we have heard of no resources being offered to the people of Brownsville. But the people of Brownsville want justice. They want their money back because they took their money under false pretense, under deceit, misguiding, and outright lying. My biggest concern is a lot of the verbiage that was used in regards to, we got the wheels greased. I want to know whose wheels had gotten greased, because in case anyone misunderstood what the intent of the conversation was, the CRI went out there and said, dangling the proverbial carrot in front of the city commissioners.
Well, they kept moving the goalpost.
Yeah, 100%.
They kept moving the goalpost, and I mean, you've heard it before. Hey, just what we need one more month, and that we need one more month, and you're right. That was a proverbial carrot, no doubt.
No
But
doubt.
look at the end of the day, the ratepayers got screwed, and now it's up to them, maybe with some assistance from some professionals, to find a mechanism that is sustainable, that reimburses every ratepayer the money that they took under false pretenses. That's it. I mean, that's it. Simple.
I will speak publicly at every single meeting until they fix this, starting with Brujac. And I plan to be there as well. I plan to be at the city commission meeting on Tuesday. I plan to be at the next PUB meeting. I plan to go back to the meeting that I got kicked out of, to this CPAP meeting or something. I don't know what the hell it is.
It's on Wednesday.
It's on Wednesday. I plan to be at every single meeting out there. And again, continuously going out there. And
A quick question, Erasmo. Has your dear friend John Cowan given his statement since he was in the audit committee?
He's handsome. And I know that's not the most important part of it. None of them have. And that's been one of my other concerns. I think the only commission that has been assisting, and again, like him or not, guys, the only one that has been vocal has been Commissioner Roy Las Chanclas, to the extent that he can. Because I truly believe that they are preparing for a major law enforcement presence, lawsuits galore. They're preparing legally. Every single individual that has been mentioned on that audit report, I've heard, and I can almost confirm, have lawyered up, which is the smart thing to do at this point.
Well, I appreciate everybody that's attending the meetings, but we need to do more. And we are partly responsible for a lot of this that's happening. And the only time we ever show up at anything is when something goes wrong. But you know what? I remember the old days, people would show traditionally at county commission meetings just to listen. And had it not been for this, when was the last time anybody attended a PUB meeting or a city meeting or a county
never.
commissioners meeting?
How many people knew that they had meetings?
You can't lead people by the hand. I mean, come on. We're all pretty. I think we're all pretty astute. We got internet. We got, just go to the city commission website, find out what the next meeting is, and go to listen. We need to educate ourselves.
But I think what's happened, Carlos, is that unfortunately for a lot of people, they trusted these people. They trusted that everything was as they said that it was happening.
Trust and verify.
Trust but verify. Go back to Reagan. And I think, honestly, one of the reasons that we're getting such an outburst from people out there is the same reason that Rudy Mireles is now going ballistic. Rudy Mireles is going ballistic. And the reason is he was, he believed their numbers. And again, and I've shared this, one of the discussions that Rudy Mireles and I had was because of the numbers. And he says, Erasmo, look, the numbers are here. I'm not going to claim anything but what the numbers are claiming. I said, and I told him, I said, Rudy, they fudge up the numbers every other day. I know. And we got into a little discussion, but he wanted to believe the numbers. A lot of people in the community wanted to believe that their elected officials were going to do the right thing.
Erasmo, a lot of people wanted to believe that the arena was a viable project. Okay. And everybody, because Eddie was going off and going to all the school boards and giving them all these really nice graphs and pictures of stuff, but no one bothered to look at the man behind the curtain. I took it a week into the early voting of the first vote. I decided, I didn't know anything about it. Heck, nobody knew about the arena being on the ballot till about 30 to 45 days out. No one knew anything about it. And so I decided upon my own to go look at the county budget, look at the financials. And that's when I started posting, these numbers don't make sense. And they didn't make sense. And so, but you know what? They were there. But if you don't know where to go look, we were bamboozled. The numbers were not going to work then, and they're not going to work in the future. I'm sorry. It's just not going to go. Not at that level that they were talking about.
Yep.
So the arena was something, even though it lost by a handful of votes, where was the outrage there? What if it would have passed? There was no outrage.
Because a lot of people actually were believing that they were buying into
exactly.
It's going to bring all these jobs and
exactly.
because I believe that people in Brownsville are hopeful, and we want to have the growth that they paint for us, right? That pretty picture. And so we a lot of us do fall for it because a lot of us do travel out of Brownsville and we see all those other what bigger cities have, and you're like, yeah, it could happen here too. And then when they bring it up to you, you're like, oh yes, let's go for it. And nobody really stops to do the research and ask the questions. Well, is it really going to be beneficial for us? Where are they getting the funding from? And all those questions. I think now people are going to start asking themselves when they start trying to push other type of things to us.
And where do we start? We start by voting. We have a dismal voting record. We have less than 10% people going out to vote. And that 10%, probably 80% of that 10% is controlled by special interests. And so that's where we have to start. And, and we start by spreading the word, talking to your friends, talking to your family, let them know. Like I said earlier, we didn't create this problem. We're just bringing it to the surface, amplifying on the audit report. If we wouldn't have made any noise, this thing would have gone away. Nobody would have said anything. But we need to be proactive, and we need to take responsibility for what occurs in our community. We just can't pass it off to elected officials. No, I don't believe that.
And I think, Erasmo, you mentioned this last time. I too would like to see the PUB board running for these positions. I don't think they should be appointed. I mean, how different are they from a BISD board that they have to run for these positions?
Again, and I think Susan made the comment in regards to she believes that they need to be elected. In a perfect world, it shouldn't be that way, because we elect the city commissioners to oversee all these boards, which PUB is included under. Part of the problem is the dangling carrot, the wheels greased. And what happens is that the city commissioners that were there then and now, and even now the PUB members that are right there right now, I could link each and every one of them to Tony Martinez. Each and every one of them to Tony Martinez. So the problem isn't if they're elected or not elected, because I truly believe that they should fall under the city commission, those we elect. But when you've got an entity that has become more powerful than the city commission, there's an issue. They can't be removed according to charter unless there's a supermajority. It has to be unanimous. They're placed there and then they can't be removed. It's crazy. And they control a larger budget than the city of Brownsville, at least twice as much of a budget. That's just madness. Again, this is what happens when you don't open the floodgates and let other individuals come in and compete for the raids. We got to end the monopoly. We got to let other companies who want to provide services here. We're going to have to do another AT&T thing, when it was completely Southwestern Bell, when it was completely decimated and made it to all these other companies. That's what we need to do here at the bare minimum. But I think what we all need to stay focused on in the city of Brownsville is, what is the first step? And I agree with Susan and everybody else. The first step is putting this guy on suspension. At least get him out of there. At least. Second of all, we need to go back and revisit the charter and make sure that these individuals can be held accountable. These individuals can be removed at any time whenever there's any misdoings. And the sitting city commissioners got to stop sucking on the tit. They've got to stop sucking on the pet projects that PUB funds for them. That's mentioned on the audit report, that because of their pet projects, they were being controlled. No more bike lanes, no more trips to Colombia, no more anything. Just be transparent. That's what we need. But one of the things that I think, I hope that we all as a community, and I spoke to the Sierra Club about this, and I'm hoping that the LGBTQIA committee task force also joins in, and everybody else joins in. Guys, we got to be on the same page. We got to get rid of Brusiak. We got to change the charter. We got to vote all these people out. And I don't care if you are part of the LGBTQ task force. I don't want you going out there voting for Eddie Trevino or Joey Lopez just because they're damn Democrats. Or Gus Reese. I want you to vote them out because they have screwed you over one too many times. Enough's enough. And there's an opportunity. And someone made mention that, that they're glad that this came out right before election. I'm too. Because I think I've heard some of individuals on here that said they would have voted for Eddie Trevino if it hadn't been for all this mess. And I want everyone out there who even considered voting for Eddie Trevino, Joey Lopez, and Gus Reese, think of what they've done. Think of what they could do. Think of what would have happened.
Yes, Frankie and I talked about this last night.
Well, think about what they can do if they get reelected for another 4 years and there's no consequence for what's occurred. There's got to be a consequence for what happened here. And maybe, like I said, from the time that this Tanasca project was considered to be not a viable project, find out how much the billings were, and at a minimum, have those companies, whether it's attorneys or engineers, send the money back. But why pay for something after it was told that it wasn't viable? Why keep billing? And I'm sorry, but Eddie's responsible for that. I know he tried to justify his fees, and of course he's going to say, "Oh, everything was on the up and up, and it was quality work." And well, you can't have it both ways, guy. No. You were either an advisor, and you advised them not to do it, or they didn't take your advice, but your advice sucked.
Loves AM. Let me say, I think that is the next thing that a lot of us are looking at in the right of ways, and the land grabs and the land purchases and everything else. It's being looked at. I guess one of the things that we don't have all the information as of yet. We're trying to get. But going back into what Judge Casco said, Kayla, you heard the response. You heard their response. You heard the PUB response. You heard the Eddie Trevino's response. You're lame as crap. I think.
Let me ask.
Face.
Let me ask. Is it Kayla? Kayla with a K? I can't see your name because it's blocked.
Yes.
Did you? There you go. Did you have the opportunity to watch either in real time or later the Channel 5 interview with Trevino? And What did you think about just writing in statements and not facing the cameras? You as a voter, did that make you feel any better, any different? Did it matter to you as long as you got a response? I didn't mean to cut you
No,
off
I
guard.
mean, I think it's fine. No, definitely not. And going back to what we was mentioned or just ago, am, and I'm gonna say it, I am one that had been voting for Eddie Trevino. And
Oh,
had this
no,
not
no.
happened, I would have. No, I'm gonna say the truth because I feel
I
that there's a
understand.
lot of people out there like me. I mean,
Yeah,
am I gonna vote for him now? No, of course not. And I shared that with you. I think it was yesterday on a post-it on your post. And because in a way I had been the type of person that would vote Democrats, and Democrats only. And Frankie and I were talking about this last night, and I think this has enlightened me in not just voting Democrat, but focusing on the individual, that's running, whether he's Republican or Democrat, in this case, for sure. So I will be voting for you. And back to your question, no, I think that was a very cowardly way to try to face the public. There's no other way to put it down. I mean, why are you afraid? And you say that you did everything right. So then why can't you face us? Why can't you face us publicly? Put your face out there with your words, coming out of your mouth, telling us these things.
right.
Well, he should do it because he is. I mean, it'd be the right thing to do. But besides that, uh, he's still in public office. He serves the Cameron County people. He should go out there and say it.
That
So,
too.
Judge Cascos, when elected, will you see about bringing back the positions eliminated for the sheriff's department, essentially defending the police by Eddie Trevino, or is it too late?
It's never too late. You can do a budget amendment. Uh, I think the funds are available. I think the funds are there. You can make a transfer from the bridge system that has a lot of money, and reinstate those positions. And I think, and that's a good point, because defunding the law enforcement was, I believe, was a political move to hurt the sheriff. And whether we agree with the sheriff, how he's behaved, what he's done or not done, is really not relevant. When you end up defunding 55 to 65 slots, you're hurting the constituency that we all represent. It's not hurting the sheriff. He's still getting his paycheck every week or every month. You're hurting the people in the rural communities that rely on the sheriff's office for public safety. So that was wrong. In my
Sam, have you noticed, Sam? When we would talk a lot about this, and post on Trey Mendez's pages and PUB's pages, you know, I would notice that a lot of people would defend PUB. I mean, I mentioned Rudy Mireles, and a lot of people would defend the mayor. Have you noticed how a lot of people are not doing that much anymore?
Now that you mention it, I kind of did notice that there's not too many. Like, oh, I'm not gonna repeat everything they said because it sounds absurd saying those words about how great they are and this and that. But it's coming to light though. That's a good thing though. Everything they're doing, and it hopefully has a ripple effect to show. And that's just one of the things that they have done, and that was back then. W- Imagine if they were to do an audit of what has been done all this time. We will never finish.
No. Well, one of the things that I mentioned, guys, is how can you trust these people with any project they bring forward here on out?
Yeah, because like even how Judge said, like with the whole arena, they were flip flopping with their information. They're like, "Oh, this is just to bring it to make a survey to see if it's feasible, this and that," and they're like, "Oh no, this is to agree with the whole arena to actually go forth 100%." I'm like, "You're not giving 100%, or it's deceiving information as well." So it's not trustworthy to go with a person like that, and then especially when we have all these proof of the audit would happen,
Well,
making decisions that are not worthy.
well, again, how can anyone Kayla, trust them ever again in asking to put up a sidewalk. A sidewalk. Now it immediately in the mind of everyone is who's making a buck. What is racketeering or the RICO, and does it apply here? That's a great question for an attorney. I will say this that we have spoken with attorneys who are interested in coming down, and hopefully we'll get some word next week to see if there's individuals ready and willing to help the citizens of Brownsville get some type of relief.
Speaking of lawyers, what's the update on your small claims?
Let me tell you, it is the buzz of the courthouse. They are excited about it. But again, one of the reasons that they're excited about it, Sam, is because, and again, I believe this or not, there's some people at the courthouse that don't like Erasmo Castro.
I don't believe that.
No. I know it's hard to believe,
Awkward,
but
you believe?
but let me tell y'all, I've even seen them being like, "Hi," like don't let anybody see me, but hey, Erasmo. And the buzz at the courthouse inside is like that mendigo Erasmo. He filed his all claims, but they're excited about it, and they're excited about it. And the reason is because, like I think Kayla mentioned this, everyone in this community has been affected. We may be able to be okay with the bill, but we have parents and tios and tias and grandparents that are not going to make it, guys. And it has affected everyone here in the city of Brownsville. Next step will be
And a quick reminder of not the winter, but we are getting a 55-degree weather soon.
well, that's winter for
Well,
Brownsville.
when they mentioned that rates are going to go up.
Oh yeah, 100% because of the heat. That's one of the things that my intern, El Primo air conditioner guy said. Guys, expect huge bills this winter. That's not very comforting.
Just layer up.
Got tax taken today for the ranch. BISD gets more tax money than Cameron County does.
Of course, because their rate is higher than Cameron County's. Of course.
Judge, would you request an audit of ARP and CARES Act funds if elected?
I'll look at it. Nothing is off the table.
No, nothing is off the table. Ah! Let's go through the comments quickly. Erasmo, I know you see this. I see you. I just don't see who you are. Feds are here to get their cut, not to enforce any laws. I have a little bit more faith in the feds than I do a lot of the local. Good evening. Good evening. Everyone got a great show tonight. It is amazing. It's great all the time. Erasmo, hey, Erasmo, has Governor Abbott endorsed you like Carlos Cascos? Congrats on the endorsement, Carlos. Well deserved. I have not. And I'm okay with that.
Don't hold your breath on it.
I'm not holding my breath. And look, let me say this, guys. I've always run my campaigns without endorsements. Solo todo más. I'm glad. I would have thought it would be great to receive an endorsement by the highest office in this state. Would have it helped me out in this race? Maybe not, but it would have been nice to receive. But no, I have not, Roman, and I don't expect to. But again, I'm okay with it.
At least you're endorsed by Roman, I think.
At least, what better endorsement could you have than to get Roman's endorsement? And I got that. So I think I'm one up on Carlos.
Yep.
I messaged 3 signs and he did not respond in regards to what's happening at PUB. If he's not responding, I would say that they are looking into it.
That's what I believe.
So what is the board waiting for?
Luis has always been very, very good about responding to people, or so I've heard. Okay, I mean, he responds to me, and so he hasn't responded. So I believe he's looking at it.
Yeah, he responds to me, and I haven't asked him on this because I agree with Judge Cascos. I agree that he is looking into it, and he responds to me. And we're not the greatest of friends anymore, but that's okay. Some board members from so what is the board waiting for the Fire Bruges Act? Again, it's the connections that they all have, they know where the bodies are buried. That's my concern. Some board members from the various boards don't
I
have
have
the
a question.
yeah.
So I've been okay. So the mastermind is Bruziak. We remove him from there, but then who are his minions aside from obviously the board? I mean, him being out, it's still going to leave somebody in there that's going to be running the show for like on behalf of him. Don't you think?
Kind of like in BASD.
Yeah. Let me say this is part of what I mentioned earlier. I really truly believe that there's another segment of the audit that has not been shared with us yet. A little segment that has the names of, because remember, in the audit it says his management. It doesn't give their names. So I would suspect that the PUB board and city commissioners, they have that other little sliver of audit out there that gives the name of everyone that was a part of this, or else it wasn't really a complete audit. They have to be out there. And I think those are the names that are going to fall into this criminal investigation that I just don't see any way that it not happening. Personally, I just don't see any way of it not happening. So I think everyone at PUB should be placed on leave, but especially the head of the snake right now. Because what happens, like it happens at BISD, is you get rid of the superintendent, let's say, and the superintendent right now gets his butt kissed by all the AAs and everybody else. As soon as the superintendent is out, everyone goes like, "Well, I hated him all the time," you know, because then they fall into the self-preservance mode.
I think that one thing that I don't believe that they should do would be, let's assume that Mr. Bruziak decides to resign or take administrative leave, or they put him on whatever, unpaid or paid leave, and then they just bring up the second person in command. That doesn't solve anything. So maybe the city commission or the PUB board should look at maybe bringing in somebody independent, whatever it is, a master, somebody, maybe even contacting somebody at the state level, just like we do school district when they get in trouble. TEA sends somebody to oversee, the activities of that school board. And I'm thinking maybe they should do something like that. Bring somebody independent to run it until, and then then go search for somebody else if that's what they need to do.
I'm not yelling from afar. Give them hell. These poor excuses for public service are pathetic for their conniving actions in the community, and they are supposed to serve. They feel that they are above the law because of their political positions. Most people won't comment due to retaliation because individuals that are involved or mentioned in the audit are directly or indirectly connected to another committee or board that will try to silence, intimidate the voice of their concerns. Yes. Everyone show up pitada for the Cowboys. We need to show with numbers at the PUB. Ya basta. Exactamente. Priorities are
and
screwed.
At the commission meeting on Tuesday.
Yes, we will be there. If BIG can stream their meetings, why can't PUB? Not that hard to do. No. What a difference on listening to Carlos talk. Beautiful. La experiencia. Carlos Castro, county judge. Amen. If Brusiak falls, why wouldn't he bring all those others down with him and collapse PUB? Are they ready for that? No. And part of the problem is, I think, you make yourself the only one that has access to the red button. And when that happens, nobody else can. So you push your importance to the company just a little bit further down the line. I think that a lot of these individuals, there's no one out here. I mean, we don't have any checks and balances as is. City Commission is not checking the PUB board. PUB board is not checking anything that the management is doing. We have no one out there because at the end of the day, no one on that PUB board is well versed in regards to anything that goes on at PUB. So who can say? I mean, how are they duped? And they were duped because they had no knowledge in regards to what they were supposed to do, but because they were yes people. There were yes people to the city commission that was there. There were yes people to Tony Martinez, because Tony Martinez, it says in the audit, Tony Martinez would say jump, and everyone would just ask, how high? And I'm talking about PUB board members, management, and the city commission. I mean, he and we saw this in the meeting. he moved the city commission, Rose Gowan, Golonsky, everyone. He moved them any which way that he wanted. That's what's unfortunate. Exactly. The number of people who blindly believe that they are fed for the Dream Arena was astronomical. It was upsetting. And I'm hoping to God, if these people if they're ever back and they bring it back, more people would be outraged. Mr. Cascos, if you win the election, can you provide some funding to fix the pier and the solar lights that don't work at Jaime Zapata boat ramp? Asking for a fisherman friend.
That is a jewel that a lot of people take advantage of, and I'm surprised that it's deteriorating as it is with no attention being put. So, yeah, of course.
The people who are pushing the arena project, yes, because it's all the same people. It's the Eddie Trevino, the Joey Lopez, Sofia Benavides, the Gus Ruiz, the other Garza guy who I never see. All these people, Trey Mendez, the Limas brothers, the Cowens, the Gowans, everyone. It's always the same people, the Sampayos. It's always the same people, the Langleys, the Signs, the same people. Because again, they get switched around from boards and committees. It's always the same caca. Except John Cowan, he's handsome. And what is the process for the commissioners to assign a new board to take care of Bruzniak? They all have to agree, and this is one of the things that I'm going to state at the meeting. I'll give you an entrada. I'm going to tell them they have to vote unanimously to remove every single member of that PUB board immediately if Bruzniak is not out. Eddie Trevino said he resigned 2017. Report says he was paid until 2018. Vote him out. And as we talked about that last night while you were enjoying a concert, we stated that voting should supersede your party lines. Well, it's good that we're all in tune. Estamos en la misma jugada.
You know what, Erasmo? I think I told you earlier, and I've said this for so many years. Neither party has a monopoly on good government.
Oh, yeah.
And there's good on both sides, and there's not so good on both sides. And it's our responsibility to determine which side is the good and which side is the not so good, and which candidate is the good and which candidate is the not so good. It's really not that difficult.
It's not that difficult. Yeah, if you're on YouTube, guys, hit that like button or hit the dislike button. I don't care. Either one. Just hit it so I can make some couple of bucks here. And it's not a lot of bucks. It's probably like $2. Not at like $2 a show. I'd like to sponsor a dinner for you. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I don't know who you're talking, which one of us you're talking to, but I'll take it. You send me Cash App or send me Zeal. A good $50 could give me a good meal. How about those who have electricity with another company and PUB with water? Can they sue? Yes. The main problem is that our commissioners are not educated or qualified enough to run and lead the city. Most of them were elected because they represent certain groups. Yes. And this is the issues. I think Judge Cascos mentioned this. Guys, don't vote for the pretty face. I mean, or else I'd be get elected every time. But don't vote just because te cayeron bien. They gave you a chicken plate or an enchilada plate. Vote for the individual that, is not going to rip you off blind. Mr. Cascos.
And don't say, I don't vote for him porque tiene nombre de malandra.
Yeah.
I'm like, do some research, people.
Please, Mr. Cascos, which county commissioner would you say, which county commissioner should stay and which should go? That's a great question.
I'm very disappointed in all members of the court. That should answer it.
I'll say I'll answer the question if you're asking me, but you're not. But they all should go. They all have to go. All incumbents at county, city have got to go.
We have Erasmo, as you know, and for the audience, we have an opportunity to change the commissioner's court this November. Easy. If Chuck V in precinct 4 gets elected, you get elected, I get elected, all of a sudden we have a majority, and we can change the path that this court is going. And right now, it is not going in the right direction. It's pretty simple. I can't do it alone. You
No.
can't do it alone.
No.
We
There has,
need,
there has
yeah,
never been a greater opportunity, folks, for
That's right.
Cameron County. There's never been, and I've followed elections for the past 10 years. There's never been a greater opportunity to flip the tables completely over. And let me tell you, in the words of Jesus Christ, tables need to be a flipping. He
you know,
said,
if the three of us get elected, we can roll back the raises, the 20% raises that they gave each other. Roll that back. First item on the agenda, if we can, roll them back. If they say, well, it's already been budgeted, well, then you know what? Then donate that extra to charity.
or donate back to the county. Let me say,
Exactly.
I agree, and we'll have a conversation with Chuck. Chuck will agree too. First item, folks, if we flip the tables over at Cameron County, I agree. I'll be the second one to second the motion. I'll agree, guys, to go out there and retract the 20% raise that they gave the elected officials. 100%, guys. These are actual steps in the right direction. What we've seen from the county commissioner's court now is steps in the wrong direction, steps that actually hurt the people of Brownsville.
Now be prepared, because I faced it when I was the lone guy up there, the only Republican up there. You're going to get a lot of pushback from other elected officials, but so be it. You know.
Yeah. This episode of Erasmo Live is brought to you by Matt White Contracting. Love you. Erasmo Castro supports all small local business. Guys, we got to get to the comments because it's already late, and Judge Cascos is old.
No kidding.
It's past his bedtime. If the feds are not the ones to get involved, and actually, I need to go watch Survivor. If the feds are not the ones to get involved, then how do we get the state involved to begin with? A lot of individuals, a lot of us have already filed complaints with the state. Have already filed concerns every which way. We just need more people to do the same. When is Abbott coming to Brownsville? The 20th?
Next Thursday.
The Thursday. Yes, the 20th. I'm planning to run for county commissioner in about 5 years. Lucy, you know me. I know you. You got my support, baby.
Unless she runs for precinct 2.
Then you don't have my support. Board members don't do their don't take my seat. Board members don't do their homework. They don't. Judge, you have my vote also. Thank you, Ms. Murillo.
Thank you.
Who has the authority to revise the charter? Who has the authority? The city commission. CEOs?
The voters. No, the voters do.
Oh, the voters. Yes. City commission need to put it forward. CEOs should have a term limit to do the members. They should not be there forever. Monopoly has to be eliminated 100%. Judge, you have my vote. Oh, you too. Well, gee, thanks. Gee, thanks. I think you already had yours, Papa. Jessica T needs to go too. She's out. Vote Carlos, Erasmo, and Chuck. Preach, sister.
Thank you, Minerva.
Mr. Cascos, you have my vote. Oh, you too, Erasmo. Erasmo. Well, that got even worse. If Cameron County can pull out a 53% voter outcome like Tamaulipas, we could outvote the politiqueras. Yes. And that should be a goal. It's kind of sad and pathetic, but we should at least be at par as Matamoros. Sandra Jamar. Hey, Sandra, I've never voted for Eddie Trevino. I'm a Democrat, but have only voted for Carlos and Tony Garza. Sandra, I think you are in my district too, and I love you. I think I already had your vote. Chuck Vey is running in the Harlingen area, Edgar. Chuck Vey, that guy. Bye. I think he said his name
Judge,
is
where
Vi.
can we get a sign?
I ordered some more signs. I should get them next week. I think I've got one left at the office. If you want to go by, 765 East 7th on the corner of Jefferson and East 7th, across from the park.
Close to my office. We need to change everyone. Go out and vote. Everyone out. Competition is good. This fiasco is not party specific. 100%. We should all be outraged. Yeah, and look, I know Laura Cisneros, Democrat, and I know Laura Cisneros is not going to vote for the Democratic candidates in Cameron County, and I'm proud. Red wave in the valley. Time for change. So go vote. Yeah, and let me say this. I don't like the term red wave because ultimately I don't want you to vote for individuals because they're from this party, that party. I want people to vote for the right candidates and
That's right.
vote the wrong ones out. But look, the three candidates that are in the Cameron County race are going to be able to flip have decided to run on the Republican ticket. I don't want you to vote for me because I'm a Republican or I'm running as a Republican. I want you to vote for me because I'm going to go in there and kick some ass.
Well, you want them to vote for
And
you
take
because you're
numbers
the
too.
better candidate.
Yeah, kick some ass. And let me tell you, and work for you. You know, work for you, not work for myself. I can't wait to see Carlo wearing the Abbott shirt. I don't think he's going to do that.
Nope, I'm not. I'm not going to wear an Abbott shirt. Settle down, people.
Oh, this is another Carlo.
My
No, he's talking about
husband,
the lawyer. No,
Yeah, Carlo the lawyer. Yeah, I don't think he's going to do that.
Oh, okay.
that's my
no, they have
husband.
the bet to see who wins.
You got my vote, Judge Cascos and Erasmo. I love you, Chel. Thank you.
Hey, Erasmo, if I can say something for all you guys and ladies that are expressing their vote for us, I encourage you. When early voting starts October 24th, between early voting and election day, commit to taking 22 people out to go vote. And then asking each one of those 22 people to take 22 people out to vote. If that happens consistently with everybody, we will win this race. But it's not going to happen by just you going out to vote. Yeah, what'd you do? Well, I voted. It's going to take more than that because these guys have machines out there. They're spending a lot of money. And somebody said, "Well, you're not spending any money." You know what? Because I'm not going to sell my firstborn to win this race. And neither Erasmo, I know that you're not funding a whole lot of money. But if it weren't for Project Red Text that has contributed,
Yes,
all our political signs, we'd be out a whole lot of money. So, and I told Erasmo earlier, go stand on the street corner like I do. Just go out there for a couple of hours, and you get 1,000 cars in a busy intersection go by.
Be productive, Erasmo.
I'm going to do my best. Well, actually, I told him. I said I was going to do that.
Yeah, just pick
The
a couple
Mexican
of.
I'll
war
go
esta
with you,
mañana.
Erasmo.
Just do it for 2 hours. That's all it takes. Just 2 hours. Take some water so
join
you
you.
don't get dehydrated.
Thank you. Let's do it. I need a sign, Judge Cascos. He's getting some this week. Again, you come by my office. I'll show you where his office is at. I'll take you on my scooter. And because you're very transparent, Erasmo, preach. It's true. I heard that early voting doesn't count. Is that no? Early voting counts big time.
60% of the votes that come in do it during early. At least 60% are cast during early voting.
And let me say, guys, please go out and vote during early voting, please. Because lo que pasa, nosotros los mexicanos dejamos todo para el último. No, mañana. And then all of a sudden it's election day. And I've got like 100 people sending me messages 30 minutes before the polls close. Ay, ¿a dónde voy, Erasmo, a votar? ¿A dónde voy? We're like, bitch, you had...
The Brownsville Public Library on Central for Brownsville is probably the better place to go vote.
Yes.
For early
It's
voting.
centrally located. Yeah, it's easy in and out. You're in and out in 5 minutes.
Go vote.
Because if you wait for election day, you have to go to your designated polling area.
It's a disaster, guys. Go during early voting. Do not, call me if you have to, but please don't leave it till the last 15 minutes. I'm not even joking, guys. I get hundreds of calls.
They do close the doors exactly on time.
Yes,
you can't be squeezing in the moment of.
You're gonna have to every day, starting on the day before early voting, mention it on the show.
I'm yes to you every
morning
day.
And night. Morning and night.
Just keep in mind this. You give me 4 minutes of your time, I will give you 4 productive years.
Preach. And take 20, 30 people out there to vote too. And you'll get more minutes.
This is to Ashley. What intersection Alton Glore? Because I do Alton Glore too. What's the best intersection?
I think the Paredes, well, for you would be the Paredes, and for me too. Paredes and Alton Glore. Yeah, that's Paredes and Alton Glore is a good one because you have a lot of people there.
Where all the accidents have happened.
Yeah.
And the frontage. Frontage and Alton Glore is a good intersection as well.
Appreciate you guys. Judge, anything else?
I appreciate y'all coming out. Thank you for your vote, Kayla. I appreciate it. I won't disappoint you, and I won't let you down.
Thank y'all,
you.
guys. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Sam. Thanks, Kayla. Guys, have a great evening. It is late. We've been on here for an hour and 20 minutes. Crazy.
All right, y'all take care. Have a great weekend. If I don't see y'all,
guys, see you tomorrow morning at 9:00 in the morning. 9:00 in the morning, guys. Be good to each other. Continue to be good to me. God bless.
bye.